Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a new and special guest with us, Brian Groves. Mr. Groves is CEO of Genesis Metals. Genesis can be traded as GIS on the TSX Venture. Thanks, Brian, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Jeff, for having me.
When I first found out about this company, the first thing I looked at, Brian, was the management team. And that's what most investors look at, who's behind these companies. What attracted me, I know that you have experience with Placer Dome. You have some top-notch directors. Talk to us about your background and some of the team that's been put together and their track record in the junior mining industry.
Okay, thanks very much, Jeff. Most of my experience up until the early 2000s was with senior companies such as Placer Dome, Noranda, and AMAX. I was head of corporate development for Placer Dome Canada, based in Toronto, until I departed Placer in 2003 and joined the junior exploration scene. I was president of a junior explorer based in Ontario, and subsequently involved with a junior exploration company working on a large low-grade gold deposit in British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. And I had the good fortune of meeting up with Jeff Sundar, who is executive vice president of Genesis. And Jeff was part of the Underworld resources team. Some of your listeners may have remembered Underworld as having discovered a significant gold project in the Yukon in Canada. It was subsequently sold to Kinross, and I think there were quite a few happy shareholders as a consequence of that sale. That team with Jeff comprised Adrian Fleming, who is executive director with Genesis at the present time, and Rob McLeod, who is chairman of the board. Now, Adrian and Rob and I have known each other at least for almost 20 years, since the days when they were involved with Miramar Mining, developing the Hope Bay project in northern Canada. I've stayed in contact with the gentleman over that period of time, and it was just chance or good karma, whatever. But I was able to meet up again with Jeff Sundar at Prospectors and Developers Conference several years back, and we started talking about working together on a new project, looking for good assets. And as a consequence of that, I was able to join the group as CEO in March of this year. The background of Genesis is that it was formerly called Entourage Metals. It had the asset called October Gold in Ontario, and I identified a good early to mid-stage gold project in Chibougamau camp in northern Quebec. And as a consequence of that, I was able to bring that to Entourage. It was a plan of arrangement. The company that held Chevrier was a company listed on the Venture Exchange based in Toronto called Taoshou Mining. By way of plan of arrangement, we merged with Taoshou and acquired 100% interest in the Chevrier project. And as I said, I became CEO in March of this year. So just with reference to the team members, Adrian is semi-retired. We continue to coax him to stay actively involved with us, and he is an excellent contributor to the board. Very strong technical background, as does Rob McLeod. Rob is, as I said, co-founder of Underworld and currently runs IBM Mining. Adrian has a long history with Placer Dome and other companies, multiple discoveries such as Porgera, Big Bell, and Gross Rosebel mines. So a very, very impressive track record. One of our other directors is John Florick, who was chief geologist for Barrick in the Hemlo camp. And John is an excellent technical director. He helped review the Chevrier data and did the due diligence as part of the selection process. We have good other directors that provide competent input to the company as well. And all around, I think we have an excellent board and an excellent management structure, and just a good combination of good people and hopefully a good project that we could develop and add value to.
And what's exciting, Brian, is that looking at the share structure, you're still under 55 million shares fully diluted as of August 15th, 2016. So that looks pretty good, like a very strong share structure. It's not too many shares outstanding. And you have this 100% owned gold deposit in Quebec, which we've seen a lot of junior company recently. Some success from some junior companies like Integra Gold in Quebec. Talk to us about this deposit and the exploration potential. What does the team like about this project in Quebec?
I think we see two aspects to the potential on the project. There is a compliant resource on the property that was completed in 2010. It's on a particular area called the Mount Main Zone. I think of greatest interest, this is a property that is approximately 96 square kilometers in extent, so a very large land position. And it's challenging to find a compilation of all data from previous workers on the project. And that, to us, represents an excellent opportunity to put everything together, interpret the results, and come up with new targets. So as much as we know we have a resource stage zone on the project, we also see the potential for additional discoveries on the property. This is a belt. The Chevrier property straddles what's called the Fan Camp Deformation Zone. It's a typical deformation big shear zone, which happens throughout the key in Canada, whether it be Timmins, Red Lake, Val-d'Or. The Chibougamau camp was a very active camp until probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Total historic production is on the order of 7 million ounces of gold produced from the camp. And I think what we've seen is interest has waned in this camp until recently, simply because there is no milling capacity in the area. Each of the other camps that I've mentioned have active mills, which means that for a junior explorer, if you were to find a resource, the threshold, the hurdle, shall we say, in terms of finding something economic could be much less if you have access to a mill and have someone process the ore for you. So we still, believe that this is a camp that's been largely overlooked. We see a lot of activity. Ion Gold is within the same deformation zone. It's approximately 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers southwest of us. So when you see two major companies entering, a gold area, you realize that the potential exists to still make significant discoveries in this area. Part of what we want to do on the property, as I said, we've had some very good, the previous workers have had very good success with trenching. As far as we can establish, some of those trench results have never been followed up with drilling. So we can see excellent opportunities to develop new targets on the project and expand those with some good compilation work and some good diligent drilling.
So Brian, let's take us through some of the timeline. I know that you're planning to do an updated 43-101 after some significant drilling, and tell us what leads up to the drilling program, when the drilling program you're hoping that will begin, and when you think that you'll come up with an updated resource.
I think in terms of work that's we're planning for and currently underway, we have three major focuses. There is, as I mentioned, previous workers have done significant drilling on the project. We plan to go back and resample and reassay some of the older core on the project to see if we can validate the assays that were generated in previous years. We also are initiating a trenching program. We're planning at least 3 new trenches, and this is based on targets, extensions of existing trenches where we see potential, and so on. We plan to also go back and, if possible, rehabilitate existing trenches completed by previous workers, and this would require dewatering and just cleaning the surfaces to resample those trench areas. We're initiating a property-wide compilation, which I think is a very important aspect. As I said earlier, we see new targets, new showings being generated in the belt and outside our project limits. So it sort of leaves the door wide open for some fairly cost-efficient discovery of new targets in the area. And the idea of the compilation as well as the trenching is to start identifying clear drill targets, which we will compile and put in. The plan is to have a significant drill program. At this stage, the best guidance would be that it won't be starting until January. And then based on the results of that drill program, we will look at the potential to issue an updated resource on the main zone of mineralization. But that does not preclude the opportunity, hopefully, to make new discoveries on new target areas that come from the compilation as well.
Brian, as we conclude, the team at Genesis has a track record of success and the ability to raise capital for exploration. But what are your final conclusions on why investors should look at Genesis?
I think, Jeb, history has shown that what potentially leads to successful discoveries is people first, and then projects. And I think that we have an impressive combination of skill sets at the board level that will allow us to identify good targets that will potentially and hopefully lead to discoveries. And I think it's the time that Jeff and the team have taken to build that relationship with each other, to maintain that team, and my good fortune to being invited to join that wonderful team, which I think is one of the key elements of success in mineral exploration.
Brian Groves, CEO of Genesis Metals, which can be traded as GIS on the TSX Venture. Thanks so much for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction into the Genesis story.
Thanks very much, Jed, and I appreciate the time that you've taken to speak with me.